I'm gonna say it. I believe this is the most beautiful game that I have yet to play. Released yesterday on the 13th of December on the Nintendo Switch, macOS, and Microsoft Windows, the game gives off a minimal and watercolor look that mimics the narrative of the story well enough for me to play from beginning to the end in one sitting. The story begins with a girl with a beautiful singing voice on the hand of a large statue. Suddenly, she loses her voice and goes on to a journey to get it back. Throughout the journey, she is able to find stars and thus light to the world, giving more and more color scheme to the originally black and white background. And I just can't stress enough how incredibly well written the soundtracks are to go with the minimalist illustration the game is presenting. The game's already proven to be good. It has a Metacritic of 83, Destructoid 10 out of 10, EGM 8 out of 10, and GameSpot 9 out of 10. It's a beautiful and a solid game that I would truly recommend if you're into a very artistic platformer. A gorgeous single-player adventure platformer. Here's GRIS by Nomada Studio. Now, it takes a very interesting method to convey a story. There's not a single word that is being said by anyone or anything throughout the entire game. The closest it gets would be the singing you briefly heard at the beginning of the video. The entire narrative is told through the images and sound effects. I'm not going to go in depth about what the story really is about, as I would like to avoid any unnecessary spoilers as much as possible, but I can tell you that the game has a very interesting villain. The villain does not even show up until you have gone through a good portion of the game. It is first introduced as a numerous small birds combining into one giant bird that continues to shift its form to match the needs of the surrounding environment. Unlike many platformers where you're asked to push through the obstacles alone, you encounter countless and cute, fantastical beings that will put smiles on your face as a guide and assist you throughout your adventure. And even if they are not beings, you'll notice that the world is simply designed to help the character to keep moving forward. Controls are simple. It cannot get much simpler than this. It's simply WASD and spacebar when you begin. Having a very straightforward controls like this, the game not only omits tutorials, it provides no guidance as to what buttons to press at all in the beginning of the game. You'll have to simply trust your own game sense to begin. Progress in the game, it does introduce you to more gimmicks such as gliding, wave forming, fish-like swimming, and ultimately singing. I did just make up the word wave forming, but if you pay attention to the visuals of this very video, that will be very self-explanatory. This touch really emphasizes the minimal direction the game takes you, as the beginning section only displays a character and a few lines that depicts the ground. That being said, art and music is a large portion of the game. To be honest, if it weren't for the artistic qualities, I would not have even clicked on the game when I saw it on Steam. And as an artist myself who attempted to illustrate minimal illustrations in a minimal style, check out my Instagram, I felt like the game is made just for me. This is the game that I truly was looking for. It meant so much to me as every frame of the game could honestly be my wallpaper. It provided so much future ideas for my next projects as it destroyed so many misconceptions and what I would call common sense in terms of painting. For example, the leaves of many trees in the game are not even shown but outlined by the rain. Or does it even have to be leaves? Few trees demonstrated in the game literally has leaves of water that you can swim through. And I don't even have words for how good the music is. I do not think I have seen a game where music was so closely related to the actual gameplay. For example, when you reach a blockage of passage, the music stops. When you dive into water, the music muffles. Even the sound of the steps you're taking are made into music. There has been so much attention to detail you will not regret forgetting about the main storyline just to play around with the world to see what more sound effects and music it can offer. Now, I have praised and only praised the game throughout the entire video. However, it's not perfect. It's not a masterpiece, though it is a great game. As the game is never told through words, it can be somewhat abstract as to what theme they are trying to propose. Though I have a computer system that would be considered pretty much a higher end computer with GTX 1060 and an i7, it's not the best, but it can definitely handle a 2D platformer. However, I did experience some frame drops, as it can be seen on the few clips on this video as well. And there's little explanation as to where the story is taking place. This timeless and fantasy-like world, what are these unique and never seen before creatures? How are trees literally changing shapes? There are very little information about the world we are told to explore. There's also no information as to why the villain is against the main character, whom we also know nothing about, and how the unreal and surrealistic powers and environment came to be. And the game also goes on a autopilot mode and plays itself, encounters danger, which takes away the fear and excitement as you become aware that there's no way you will be killed in this game. Though the game is mainly progressed through puzzles, they are not very challenging, though you may get momentarily stuck on a few parts. The game is also very short, with a runtime of less than 3 hours total. You may have to consider if $17 would really be worth the entire length of the game. Nevertheless, GRIS by Nomada Studio is a very solid game. There's no doubt about that. Maybe you could gift it to yourself or your friends for this upcoming Christmas and indulge yourself in the fascinating world it offers. And if you do decide to play this game and you get stuck, you can probably check out my walkthroughs that I've uploaded just now. Just enjoy the game, don't get frustrated, it's a beautiful game. Well, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, even though this was a very newbie-like review. I really have to learn how to review video games. But all I can tell you that is I enjoyed it. If you know any other games that are like this, please comment so that I could play it, maybe give it another review. Or if you have any other comments about the review itself so that I can do a better job next time, I also welcome those. But lastly, have a good break. It's Christmas.